Were cursed and I had somehow muted my audio. So I am now having it record, and I am going to double check to make sure that it is actually coming out by watching my channel for a moment and seeing if audio is coming out. So let's go back to my channel and listen to me live. Alright, perfect. So we do have audio. I muted the channel. Oh, we are in OBSception. Alright, so we'll do this one more time, this time with all of the correct information and without any glitches. So with Roland's deck here, you can see we still have it listed as he has 1 mental trauma. And we are going to add in some cards. We're going to put a police badge in to help him make some tests. Tabletop Simulator is getting ready to run, so let me just switch scenes real quick so that way we're back here. So Police Badge will help him make tests and have some extra actions if we need it. We put I've Had Worse in to either block some horror from like Rotting Remains or something like that, or near the end maybe we could block an Urmoth hit with it. And then the extra 2 XP that we had put into extra ammunition. And basically that's solely to make the guns better, specifically his special, but it can also work with the automatic if we happen to have head down. It's basically 2 money for 3 bullets instead of 4 money for 4 bullets. So it's a little bit more efficient, and it doesn't require us to find the second gun. We can just play it onto the first gun. So it's like adding more weapons to the deck, but you just have to have one of the pistols first. So the other deck that we have was Daisy, and we are going to add in 2 Cryptic Researches. So those just draw 3 cards as a fast action for 0 money. It's one of the strongest cards in the game for Seekers in the core set, so we wanted to get that in here. So let's slide back over and switch to Tabletop Simulator. I am running through this rather quickly because this is my 4th time playing this scenario tonight. We had a couple of technical glitches. It didn't record correctly the first time. The second time, I don't even remember what happened now. It's been a long night. And the last time I had audio turned off. Oh, the second time I forgot to switch scenes, so I was always on the browser. We're going to be doing this. Let's show everyone where we are. We are doing the Devourer below here. So we're going to gather all the encounter cards, shuffle the 6 copies of Arkham Woods, and put 4 of them into play at random. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The other 2 get removed from the game. Then we're going to set cards aside out of play, which is done. Randomly choose one of the 4 encounter sets. So here's a bag. If you press R on the bag, it shuffles it, and then we put that over here, and then we press R to shuffle this. It's random, right? R. And then if there are 2 cultists who got away, which is the number, we add 1 doom to the agenda, so we'll do that now. We're going to add a Elder Thing Chaos token, so it is not that one or that one, but instead is that one. It goes in the bag. Alright, and then it is not past midnight because we resigned, and then the Midnight Masks, and the Ghoul Priest is not still alive. We did kill it, so we don't have to worry about that. We're going to put some of the player tools in. We're going to add the Draw 1 button, so that way we can more effectively play as the not in the investigator slot. We'll do that, and then we're going to switch, like I said, to the Game Master. Alright, we start at the main path. We need 6 clues to advance, and we have 3 more turns to do so because we lost 1 to being less efficient last time. Let's do some mulligan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so we're just looking for allies now. We have a weapon. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, well, we got plenty of weapons. We would have liked to have seen an ally, either Lita or a beat cop, but that's a thing we're going to have to look for. For Daisy, we're looking for Old Book of Lore. We got it, and Dr. Milan. So we don't need Research Librarian because we already hit Old Book of Lore. But now we're just looking for Dr. Milan Christopher. You can't have weaknesses in your opener, so we take another one. Oop, I thought I hit it. Alright, we didn't get Dr. Milan, but maybe we'll find him with Old Book of Lore. So Daisy can go first. She'll play her Old Book of Lore, and then she'll immediately activate it on herself. We don't want Research Librarian. We'll take Cryptic Research. So we talked about Cryptic Research a moment ago. So it's a fast card. You can play it during your turn. Any investigator at your location draws 3 cards. So we'll have her choose herself because she's, again, looking for Dr. Milan. 1, 2, 3. Did not find him. We've only played Old Book of Lore. This is a fast, so it doesn't use one of our actions. Unfortunately, we don't have cards that are really going to help us investigate, but we need to advance the game state. We're going to make a brain test here. So our base brain is 3, so we're going to commit guts to be 5, and we'll commit courage to be 7. So now we are +3. We succeed. Whenever you succeed with guts, you draw a card. Alright. And so we moved into this location, so now we're going to investigate. It's a shroud of 4. So we are going to commit deduction to be 6 and the other courage to be 8, so we're +4. We need to grab one of these. We're just going to move it down so that way we don't have to go to the top to reference it. So it's -3, so we succeed. And there's not a monster, so we get both clues because we used deduction. So not a bad start. We got 2 clues. We got our Old Book of Lore into play, and we're moving along. For Roland, he has to choose. Now, basically because of the amount of cards he has, we're just going to play the machete to protect ourselves. We don't want to run out of bullets with the gun before, and the machete costs less, so if we draw a beat cop, we'll be able to play it faster. But we can't do much else now, so we're just going to draw cards. We drew another gun, and we found the beat cop. That's great. So that was machete, draw, draw. So upkeep, cool. Upkeep for Daisy. She drew Holy Rosary. That should help with some brain tests later. Doom on the agenda, and counter cards. I'm pretty sure we shuffled when we put the other cards in, but we'll just double check. Alright, I won't be able to play assets, so we can't play that beat cop, but that's fine. We can't play events either. And Daisy has to make a brain test. Now, she would be discarding cards from her hand, and she is very likely to fail this. So we're going to use Ward of Protection, and that is going to cancel the Revelation effect, which is the test. And we have to pay a horror in addition to the money to do that. So this goes to our discard pile, that goes to the encounter deck discard pile, and then we're good to go. Daisy is still looking for Dr. Christopher, so she's going to look again, and she will take another Cryptic Research. As you can tell, this card is very fair and balanced, so we're going to play it now, and we're going to draw 3 more cards. Once again, still looking for Dr. Christopher, and there he is. Alright, so we will move up, so that was our book action. We will move up. We will play Emergency Cash, 4, 5, 6, and then we will play Dr. Christopher. He gives us a book permanently, and that's our turn. So now it's Roland's turn. He is not allowed to play assets or events, so he's just going to click for money. He could go exploring a little bit, but he needs more money to play the beat cop, and we don't know what else is going to come here, so that's fine. We'll then go to upkeep. We drew guts, 8 cards in hand, so Roland's fine. Magnifying Glass is fast, so we can play it now in the player window. That happens in the upkeep. And then at the end of the round, we discard Dissonant Voices. We put a 3rd Doom on the agenda, 3 of 4. And bad thing for Roland. Ancient Evils, which advances us, 4 of 4. So we shuffle a discard pile in and get a monster from the deck. So only a monster. So there are cultists in here, and we do not take cultists. So there's an Ancient Evil, so that's good. Ravenous Ghouls of Monster, and it spawns here at the main path, and then Roland will take it. So that's that, and we have to place a Doom on that enemy. That shouldn't matter too much because we got Roland here to punch it. But then we shuffle, 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 and we take an encounter card. So now Roland's going to have to make this test. Well, he's got plenty of cards in his hand, which is good, but he'll commit guts to test it even, and we'll go from there. So he actually passes the test, which is great, and he'll draw a card from guts. So that's a very fortunate result for him. And then, ooh, second B cop could be nifty. All that extra money might help. So now it's Daisy's turn. So Daisy got an Acolyte. Acolyte has to spawn in an empty location, so we're going to want to put it somewhere we haven't been, so that way when we go there, we explore that location and kill two birds with one stone. So we'll pick this one. And we'll have Roland go first, because that's the entire Mythos phase. So Roland's going to attack the Ghoul minion, so we've got 4 Fist, plus 1 from the Machete is 5, that's plus 3. We're going to commit our Machete to be plus 4. Alright, we succeed, we do 2 damage, because we get an extra 1 from the Machete and kill the Ghoul. That's action 1. Action 2 is going to be to play the Beat Cop, and then action 3 will be to move into this location. This guy's going to engage us, and then we'll use our Beat Cop to deal 1 damage to Beat Cop. We get plus 1 Fist from the Beat Cop, and that kills the Acolyte. This location is connected to that one, so we're just going to move these over so that way it's a little bit easier to see visually. This location uses feet to test, which is going to be very challenging for our investigators. Alright, but we do have these unexpected courages, and we might have a chance to pass one, so maybe we'll try a feat test. We'll see. Alright, so now Daisy knows that she doesn't want to go over there, because it's very unlikely that she'll pass those tests. So she'll use Old Book of Lore on herself, because she's sitting around trying to figure out life. She'll grab her tote bag, and actually we're going to use a charge to play it. So it reduces the cost by 2, and lets us put it into play immediately. And then since Old Book of Lore is a tome, it can go over here now, and it gives us an extra hand in case we find the other magnifying glass. As we can see, we're getting a bunch of brain tests, so we're going to get our Holy Rosary down so that way we get an extra brain, and then Daisy's going to go exploring off this way. Okay, well once again we found another cool location connection, so we'll just move these over so that way we can see what's connected to what, and Daisy's actually here. This one uses brains, so that's great that we found our Holy Rosary. So that was a move, so now we're going to do our investigate, and we're going to investigate at plus 2. That's a minus 3, so that's a fail, and there's no monster, so we don't take damage. That's all of our actions, so we can do upkeep for Daisy, upkeep for Roland, Doom on the agenda, 1 of 5. All monsters get plus 1 fight and plus 1 evade, so that's important to remember. Okay, we found another monster. Oh, when I came in here, Roland killed the Acolyte, remember? So we're going to grab this clue with Roland's react ability last turn. I was not thinking, so that's something you can do even when you use the Beat Cop ability. Alright, and then Daisy's bad thing. She has to put 2 Doom on a cultist. There are no cultists in play, so she must search the encounter deck and discard pile for a cultist and draw it. So we're just going to grab this Acolyte that's over here and put him over there. It has to go to an empty location, and again, we're just trying to go somewhere that we haven't explored yet. So we're going to have Roland go first. Roland's going to fight the Ghoul minion. He has 5 fists. We'll use the Machete to have 6. So we're plus 4, and then minus 1 here, so it's actually plus 3. So we'll start with an attack. That's still a success. Then we'll remember this time to correctly react and grab this clue. And then we will move, so that's 2 more actions. 1, 2. We will grab the Acolyte, and we will fast the... Ooh, I don't know what that was, but we will fast the Beat Cop. I was trying to set it to 2, and it did that, and kill it. We can't react twice in the same turn to get another clue, but that's okay. This location uses fists, so that's neat for us, and that'll be a future us plan. So now it's Daisy's turn. Daisy will use her Old Book of Lore, and that's a fast action that she can use to do that. This location uses brain. None of this is brain, so we'll keep deduction. We'll take mind over matter. That card's very valuable. There's a couple of spots where I think it could be great. Having 2 could be effective. We don't have a lot of money, so Arcane Studies isn't great, but we're going to need to use Arcane Studies to make these passes. So let's just test plus 2. So we pass. So we can use Dr. Milan to gain a money, because it's an investigation, even if it doesn't use book. He only needs us to successfully investigate. So that's action 1. Action 2, we'll test again. There's no monsters in play, so that's a success. Okay, so we have all 6 clues that we need to advance. So instead of moving up, I'm going to play this Arcane Studies now to save me the economy, and that way we'll have actions next turn to do things. We'll do Upkeep. Ooh, drew Lita, that's great too. Alright. Doom on the agenda, 2 of 5. Bad thing for Roland is this. Takes damage, we don't care about that, so we'll fail. We'll take the full 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's fine. This is taking horror, again, we don't care, so we'll just take the test, and we actually pass. Cool. Roland can go... And we'll have Daisy go first. So Daisy will move up. Oh, it doesn't flip over, we already were there. And we'll spend the 6 clues to advance. We put the set-aside ritual site into play, so that goes here. And search the collection for everyone who got away. So if we remember from yesterday, we did Wolf, we did Henry, and we did Herman, rather, and Peter. We did not get Victoria Devereaux or Ruth Turner. And since Daisy's the only one that's here, she'll have to deal with them. And she can spend the money now to use Mind Over Matter. Oh, I should have used Old Book of Lore first, but it's fine. We'll use our book to evade instead of using our feet. And so we'll use Perception. So we are 6, 7, 8. 8 to 6 is +2. We'll commit this to be +3, and that's fine. We'll spend the money to be +4. We succeed. When Ruth Turner gets evaded, she gets added to the victory display. And we draw an extra money from the... Or not a money, I'm sorry. We draw a card from the Perception. We will also evade here. We're +4. We succeed. We would put a Doom on the nearest enemy, which is, in fact, Miss Devereaux. So that's that. The Doom didn't come with her. Interesting. Okay. So that's those. And then, so we did move, evade, evade. So then we can use Old Book of Lore. And we're the only one here, so we'll grab this. And we'll grab the emergency cash, because that's going to be worth 3 brain or 3 book with the Fearless. With Arcane Studies. So now it's Roland's turn. Roland will move over. We will spend an action to play Lita to get +1 fist. And we'll attack Devereaux. Devereaux is not a... Oh, there's a lot of problems with that, actually. Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to attack. So we did move, play Lita. We have 1 more action. We could play Beat Cop here, but I don't think it's a good idea. I think we're going to play Physical Training, and we're going to get that down. And the reason we're doing that is so that we can increase our fight later, or our brain, but also so we can use our machete to attack Victoria when she's engaged with us to get an extra damage. So then we go to the monster phase. Victoria will ready, and we'll have her engage, because she doesn't have prey, we'll have her engage Roland. Roland will do upkeep, and upkeep for Daisy. Doom on the agenda, 4 of 5, this goes away. Encounter card, can't play assets or events, that's fine. Monster, okay. So we'll start here, and we'll have Roland commit... Oh, I don't have a Vicious Blow, I thought I did. Alright, we'll have Roland attack Victoria Devereaux. So she's 3, we're attacking with 7, so that's successful. That's 2. We're going to use the Beat Cop to kill her, because we don't want to waste actions. And then we're going to engage the ghoul, so that's 1, that's 2, and then we'll engage and fight the ghoul. We lose a combat from that, because when the Beat Cop leaves play. And then we will fight, so we're +3. +3 should be fine. Alright, so that kills, because we get 1 from the machete, 1 from the base attack, and 1 from Lita, because this is a monster. And that's all 3 actions for Roland. So now it's Daisy's turn. Yeah, so Daisy's going to use Old Book of Lore. She'll use it on herself. Good thing she doesn't want to draw that, or that. The deck's getting kind of small, and there's some bad things in there, so gotta be careful. yeah, so I guess we're gonna move in, enter the ritual site, shuffle the discard pile into the deck. Ooh, whoops, that's not what I was supposed to do. Okay, it's still correct though. Shuffle the discard pile in and discard cards until any enemy is discarded and then force it to spawn at the ritual site. Okay, well, that's good to see. We don't want to see any of these cards, and we'll get that, and it will spawn with her. Unfortunately, we didn't do anything else with our turn. We didn't know that this was going to happen, so we are going to waste these two actions. There is a monster enemy at our location, so if we pull a cultist, we could take damage, and the odds of us evading are very low. It's not so bad, actually. Oh, these are -1s now because of the guy, and I don't know why this isn't in the right spot. This should be here. So we have 4 chances to evade and 1 chance to take damage. Alright, it's worth it to try to evade, so we'll evade. Okay, we succeeded. And we draw a card for each tome, so we have 1 tome. And since it's evaded, it goes over here. We can play the magnifying glass, so we will. It's a fast, so it doesn't cost us an action. And we can click for a money. So we evaded and clicked for a money, and that saves us some horror, so some damage. That's good. Alright, so we then go to the monster phase. This monster will ready. The only person here is Daisy, so it'll pick Daisy. We'll do our upkeep. Roland has 8, so he's fine. Daisy has 8, so she's fine. At the end of the round, we lose Dissonant Voices. We put another Doom on the agenda, 4 or 5, and we draw an encounter card. Test Brain 4. If you fail, take 2 horror and search your deck for a madness. So the good news is we don't have any madnesses. The bad news is horror is pretty bad for us. That said, I think we're okay with it. We haven't taken any yet, and we have Leader to Soak, so we'll just test at -1. We were failing no matter what, so it's a good thing we didn't commit any cards. We'll go over here, and she'll draw an encounter card, so she has to put this into an empty location, and these 2 are not legal, so she has to put it over here, or anywhere, but we'll put it there. Alright, so we're going to be advancing next turn no matter what, so the Doom on it doesn't matter, so Roland's not going to care about that. So he's going to play a Beat Cop, move up, and Machete won't do what I wanted to do. Alright, we'll just use the Beat Cop. We got in a fight from playing the Beat Cop. So we're +5. We succeed, and we'll use the Beat Cop to do the extra damage. So 1 from the Machete, we don't get the bonus because it's not engaged with us, and 1 with the Beat Cop. It's a little risky, but we trivialized the bag by being +4, so no big deal. So now it's Daisy's turn. We advanced, but we didn't say what we had to do. So we have to spend clues that we get from investigating here, or that we could have had from elsewhere. And then Roland killed a monster here, actually, before I explain. And I'm going to remember to react with Roland to take the clue. You have to either test brain or feet, and if you succeed, you put a clue on the act. If there are 2 clues per investigator, or 4 in a 2-player game, you'll advance. So 4 total clues is what we need. We need to get them from this location. There's only 4 clues here, but it says at the end of the round, if there are fewer than 4 clues on it, refill it back to 4. So that's what we're going to be doing. So Daisy's going to try to investigate. She's going to commit deduction, and Roland can commit his deduction for her. So we're testing at 10 to 3, which is +7, which is the whole bag. She'll succeed, so she'll get 3 clues, 1 from each deduction, and she'll get an extra money from Dr. Milan. So she'll get all 3 clues that were here. So she could try to investigate more, but there's no clues, so that's not actually going to be an effective strategy. We have arcane studies, and so what we're going to do is play emergency. So we investigated the location. We only have 2 actions remaining. So let's test brain. So it's 4. So the test is 3, so we're +1. We can commit cards that have brain in them. We'll commit fearless to be +2. We don't want to commit any. We can commit that. I will save that for the. Yeah, we'll commit that. We'll be +4. So, and we'll spend 1 money to make sure we don't hit the -5. We did not. So we spend a clue, and then we put it onto the agenda. And then because fearless worked, we heal a horror. Alright, so Daisy has, she investigated, she tested, she can use Old Book of Lore, so we should probably do that. Oh, it's very fortunate that we're doing these things. Look at all these terrible cards that could end up in our hand. Alright, so let's spend our money now and test, because we could pull Paranoia. So that gets us up to 6 Brain. We don't have any more cards from her hand that we want to commit. We could commit that, but he'll just commit Unexpected Courage to get us to 8, and 8 to 3 is +5, which is the whole bag. Yep. And that's another pass, so we'll take this clue and put it on the agenda, and we're halfway there. Alright, so there's no monsters in... Oh, this is a monster, but it doesn't hunt, so we'll do Upkeep. Okay, Upkeep, did we hit one of them? Nope, we did not. Cool. She still has 8 cards, he has 5, so that's fine. Doom on the agenda, so we have 5 of 6, or sorry, 6 of 5. This was drawn after the threshold check, so it doesn't force us. Only cards that specifically say to force the change do that, like Ancient Evils did before. But now we're going to reset the Doom counter and advance the act, or advance the agenda. We must test Brain 6. For each investigator who fails, they have to get a weakness and add it to their hand. Madness weakness. So, really don't want to do that, but unfortunately we're probably not going to pass any tests, and in so trying to pass a test will cost us the ability to pass the other ones. So we're just going to at the end of the round we were supposed to fill this back up with clues, so let's do that now before I forget. 1, 2, 3, 4. Roland's -3, so he's just going to test. Amusingly, he gets +4 because there's 4 clues, so he succeeds. Very fortunate pull. So now it's Daisy's turn. Daisy is -2 to the test. And again, there are some nasty ones. So let's try to pass it. We will commit 2 cards to the test to be even. We'll go +1. We'll go +4. I don't think we're going to need that, so we'll go +4. There are no monsters in play. The cultist is not a monster. So she passes as well. So nobody gets an extra madness, and we can continue on. So now it says if we're in Act 2 or 3 and this agenda advances, discard all enemies at this ritual site and spawn Umard Hoth here, who is the Ancient Evil. So we definitely don't want to do that. So let's try to get this done by then. So we'll do the encounter deck for Roland. He has to do that. Place 2 Doom on the nearest cultist. Well, we definitely might want to go kill that guy, because that's 2 full turns that we would lose. So he might become a priority. And she's drawn Ghoul Minion. Alright. So Roland is going to engage the Ghoul Minion and attack it. That kills it, so that's convenient. We could start moving over here, but it's unlikely that we get there before the game is over, or we could do it in 1 turn next turn. We did kill a guy here, though, so we'll grab a clue, because we'll remember how to play our character. So we do conveniently have this physical training, so we're going to first, so we did fight, then we're going to play emergency cash, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to use physical training to get 4 brain, and tests 7 to 3, so +4. We succeed, so we put a 3rd clue onto the act, and that's all of the cards for this turn. She's going to use Mind Over Matter and let her use her book instead of her feet to do the feet part of the test, as you can see here. So she has to test 3. She's a base of +3. She'll be +4, +5. She'll succeed and put a clue on the agenda. There are now, on the act. There are now 4 clues, so we advance, and we get to do resolution 1. So 4th time's the charm. We actually beat the mission in the best scenario, or the best resolution. So in your campaign log, record that the ritual was broken. We each suffer 2 mental trauma, so now Roland would have 3, so he'd only start games with 2, but since this is the last one in the campaign, we don't have to worry about that. We would get additional XP equal to the display and 5 more on top of that, and we would win. So the display is only 1, so we would get 6 additional XP. Again, because we're not going to be continuing on with these decks, we'll be stopping here, so that XP won't be used. I hope everyone had a good time playing through the Night of the Zealot. I'm happier that we got a better result, even if it took us all night to get there. I hope everyone had a good time. We'll be playing Dunwich tomorrow, and I'll be having a friend join me. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys then.